Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Xbox Live episode 322 Xbox Live Attacked. I am one of your hosts, Coughing Mark, aka Wingman709.
He's all choked up about it.
I'm all choked up, I'm a little verklempt. And that sultry voice you just heard is Rob.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And also with us is BJ Swig33. Bron, looks like you shaved your head. What happened?
Actually, it's Vengeful Loki, aka the virus.
The virus. aka TXL Gamer of the Year.
There you go.
Yep. Thank you for filling in. Brun did a last minute, not feeling well, so we reached out to Bo there, and he said, "Of course, I'll come on and do it." So, but I think you're charging us double this time, right, for the late notice?
Uh, no, not at all.
We still get that same low rate, right?
Well, that's what he says now.
Yeah,
We'll see when we get the bill.
yeah. He knows where I live, so he could actually send me the bill.
Yeah, there you go.
So, all right. Well, we'll get started here. Welcome to the show. Be sure to check out the website, thisxboxlife.com, for all the information on each and every one of our episodes. Also, if you would love to support us, which we would love for you to do, you can do that by doing your shopping at Amazon.com using our affiliate link. You can either go to thisxboxlife.com/Amazon, or if you're in the U.S., or if you're outside the U.S., go to our website, click the Amazon link, and it'll auto direct you to the store closest to you. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Rob, what have you been playing this week?
The only thing I've been playing this week is a little bit of the Telltale Game of Thrones, and I was very on the fence about going with or starting off with one of the new shows, but I'm like, okay, I'll get it. I'll get it. So I was choosing between the two, and I went with the Game of Thrones one. So far, it's good. I'm not yet through the first episode. I believe it's about 2 hours or so, two and a half hours, if I remember right, in length. So I'm about close to the 1 hour mark. And there's some differences with this. You're actually doing multiple characters. It's not like the Wolf Among Us and Walking Dead where you just control one character. So you are kind of flip flopping between a bunch of characters, which is new, and it's okay so far. I can't say that it's great. I can't say that it sucks. It's just okay. So we'll see what happens with the rest of this first episode, and then kind of take it from there. But that's all for me.
All right, how about you, Bo?
Well, I've been a little late to the game, but I started playing a game called Rise, and it's pretty good, actually. Uh, I played the demo of it back when Xbox was touring, right before it came out, and didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't think I'd be into it. And now that I actually had some time to sit down and learn the controls, it's a pretty good game. And then this weekend, I picked up a little known game called Far Cry 4, and that
Never heard of
has that has captured all of my attention this weekend. That is a really cool game.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
Alrighty, then this week I played some Diablo 3. I've played some Rise as well. Sunset Overdrive. I've always got to go in and just, play a little bit here and there of that game. I can't wait this coming week. The big DLC announcement for their first single player DLC expansion is set to drop this week. Or the announcement, all the news is coming out this week, they said. So I'm excited. It looks like we're going to be able to go out of the city that we were in and into a new area. And it's supposed to be pretty large. And I'm really excited, man. I'm ready to get back in there and just keep tearing it up, man. I love that game. Played some Worms Battleground. Glad it was free. And I also tried Far Cry 4 this week. And I don't think as Bo is super excited about it, and liking. I'm kind of it's okay. It looks really good, but the thing I think with me is it's exactly the same as Far Cry 3, different setting, different story, but it's all exactly the same. It's like reskin. So as I'm doing it, I feel like I've been here and done that. But it is still a good game. I still find myself going back to play it today. So there's a lot to do. I kind of like that. So. But that is what I've been playing. So, you guys got anything else before we jump into our news? I think it's going to be a really quick show today. I'm not feeling good. I know we're limited on Bo's time, and I don't know about Rob. Maybe Rob will just keep going all night without us.
Maybe I'll start talking about Wolfenstein.
I need to go back to that too. I stopped playing it. I tried it that one weekend, and
Yeah, because I remember how horrible it was because you had to pick up your own stuff and then you didn't know where to go.
yeah,
There should have been signs with like neon arrows.
this
Go
way,
this way.
go this way,
Go that way.
Yeah, I mean, there is a thing called waypoints and HUDs, and that every other game in this century does use. So,
Right.
but
Like in real life.
Well, I will say this. I think we're finally to the point where there's too many games and not enough time.
Yes.
that's
They-
true.
And they further complicate it by giving us free games.
Those
Yes.
jerks.
I know. And it's like,
That's it. I'm refusing to buy Renew Xbox Live. I can't. The free games is too much. Darn them.
I don't have time to play all these games. And then they give me 3 more this month.
Which everybody complains
What's
about.
up with that?
How dare they give us free games?
I know. Jerks.
So, but it's not free. You gotta pay for them. Oh.
Yes.
Anyways, before I get started on that, let's get to the news.
Let's go. All right. So, hey, I do want to make 2 quick announcements that I thought were pretty cool from this past week. NASA made the successful launch of Orion. Wow, that was pretty cool. So I guess that's the next stage of American space flight that happened on Friday. Very cool, very cool. And also, I don't know if you guys heard this, but the Warthog is coming back. Did you guys hear about that? You know the Warthog, the airplane? A-10?
It's never. What do you mean it's coming back?
They're being put back into service.
They've been in service. They were going to retire them back in what 91, and then
Okay.
Desert.
Well, they're
a
officially
little
back,
thing,
I guess.
a little thing called Desert Storm broke out.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're stationed here at Davis Monthan in Tucson, Arizona. That's where they've been stationed for a very long time.
Yeah, and they've got some up here in the Midwest also. And but I guess they're gonna take them all in the fight against ISIS, from what I was reading. So they're officially back, even though they were in limbo.
Okay.
But anyway, on to the other news, the gaming news. So first up, Forza Horizon 2 Napa Chassis Pack is now available. It includes a whole bunch of cars, the 2015 McLaren 650S Coupe, the 2014 Land Rover Range Rover Supercharged, the 1970 Buick GSX, the 2015 Audi RS6 Avant, and the 1988 Chevrolet Monte Carlo Super Sport. Now that car is one that definitely reminds me of my Utes. You remember my buddy Ken had one of those back when we were in? Actually, I think you might have gone off to the military already. Do you remember that? Remember Ken
Nope.
back in that city that we went to school in?
Nope.
Anyway, but the Monte Carlo Super Sport was one fantastic ride for its time. So this is available for $5, basically, what is that, like $1 a car? And then also free for December is the 2002 Lotus Esprit V8.
Did you
moving
just
on,
say Esprit,
Esprit.
not Esprit?
Esprit.
Thank you. Gotta
Yeah.
pounce on him, Bo. Go for it, man. You hear him doing something wrong, get him.
Whatever.
S spirit. That's funny.
Spirit.
I think I've just discovered the title for next week's show.
Yeah. If we can get there with waypoints. So a user on Twitter, Xbox head honcho Phil Spencer, if we'd ever see JRPGs coming over to the Xbox One. Phil Spencer eventually answered, "You will see JRPGs on Xbox One." And everybody holds their breath and sees what happens. Developer Crytek has announced that it will soon shut down the 360 version of the free-to-play game Warface. And they said in the run-up to February 1st next year, we'll be gradually winding down Warface service on the Xbox 360. Existing players will still be able to play the game and use the content they've already acquired until the game closure date. However, effective today, no new players will be able to join. The current players will no longer be able to purchase additional Warface credits. That's credit with a K. Any existing credits players might have must be spent within the game prior to February 1st, 2015, or they will simply vanish. So you heard it there. If you're playing this game, and I'm guessing you're probably not, your stuff will go away. So hurry on up and use it. Ubisoft confirms the next Assassin's Creed will be set in Victorian London. This was originally a leak, and they've or news leak, and they've since confirmed it. So it's expected to launch in the fall of 2015. It's called Victory. It will be the first game in the series developed by Ubisoft Quebec, the studio named as the lead of the game by the publisher in July. And though Halo Spartan Strike was originally scheduled for release this month, that's December, a notice on Halo Waypoint claims the overhead shooter spinoff has been delayed due to the ongoing technical problems of that small game called Halo the Master Chief Collection. So I guess we got to wait until they fix their stuff. The re-release of Resident Evil, upgraded for modern consoles, is scheduled to launch digitally in North America on January 20th, 2015. It's going to be for the PS4, PS3, Xbox One, the 360, and PC. It'll cost $20, and this is the definitive version. I guess we've all been going from HD in the past couple of years, and now they're all definitive. Because I guess HD is what the last versions were. And nobody wants to see HD anymore. They want definitive. So this is going to have both Xbox One and PS4 versions running at 1080p. Some of the backgrounds or some of the environments are going to be polygonal. Sounds good. As opposed to the original backgrounds and flat images and videos of the previous games. Players will be able to choose between classic and modern control schemes as well. All right, moving on. The Elder Scrolls Online released on PC earlier this year, and since then, Xbox One launch has been delayed a couple 2-3 times, and Elder Scrolls Online is still on track for the Xbox One, so we will see it someday. Limbo is now available for the Xbox One. This was given free to some of the day one or the early adopters, whatever you want to call them, and it's now available for the masses. Also, Threes has jumped from the mobile platform onto the Xbox One, although I sort of wonder how people are going to take their Xboxes and their monitors and TVs into the bathroom to play. I'm really not sure how it's all going to work out. Because, yeah, that's definitely a bathroom game. Odd thing enough, I don't know if you guys have played Threes. I was reading online that it took the guy who did Threes 9 months to do the graphics for that game. Interesting there.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, when you look at it and go, 9 months? But graphics aren't easy, I guess. Dying Light Season Pass
Neither's
includes,
Pippin.
includes 3 post-launch editions. According to a recent tweet, those who purchase the $20 season pass on PC, Xbox One, or PS4 are going to receive access to 3 DLC packs. Cuisine and Cargo features 2 new missions designed to challenge experienced players. The Ultimate Survival Bundle includes 3 new outfits. Guess you gotta look styling, as well as 4 new weapon blueprints. And the Bozek Horde DLC pack features only 1 new map, a derelict stadium, but can be used in both single-player or multiplayer gameplay modes. Dying Light will receive its first DLC in February 2015, though Techland offers no timeline for when the studio plans to launch the other 2 packs. Bandai is taking motorcycles out for a ride in spring 2015. The title Ride is going to feature more than 100 bikes from real-life manufacturers, usable in 4 different racing categories. And when I say bikes, I don't mean bicycles. I'm talking motorbikes, motorcycles, etc. Superbikes, super sports, naked and historical bikes is the racing categories. The game will also allow players to customize their bikes and riders. Ride is being developed by Milestone SRL, an Italian studio credited with work on the MotoGP and MXGP motorcycle racing series. Then some more Xbox One news. The BBC iPlayer is launched on the Xbox One, so you can watch your BBC programming. Activision has announced that it'll publish a new entry in Sierra's classic King's Quest adventure game series, and it'll be developed by The Odd Gentleman, which also did the Misadventures of PB Winterbottom. So King's Quest, Your Legacy Awaits is going to launch in the fall of 2015 for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, and PC platforms. So this should be kind of interesting because the King's Quest titles were pretty sweet back in the day. I'm really curious to see how this will hold up, and if King's Quest is something better left to nostalgia or not. And then Adrift is a new space-based game from 310, and it's coming to Oculus Rift, PS4, Xbox One, and Steam in summer 2015. And lastly, developer Cyanide Studios and publisher Focus Home Interactive have announced plans to revisit the world of Blood Bowl, not only on the PC but also on the Xbox One and the PS4. Like its 2009 predecessor, Blood Bowl 2 will be a virtual adaptation of a Games Workshop pen and paper game that lampoons American football by replacing players with Warhammer creatures and dudes and all that good stuff. And a lot of people really love this game on pen, paper, miniatures, and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out as well. And there you have it. That is the news for today.
Woohoo! Yay! Woo!
That was a long one.
Yay! You know what I think? I just realized that I don't have an. Oh, I do have one.
Did you take the lens cap off the camera?
I did.
Are we recording? Okay, good.
I don't know about that. But...
So I don't have to redo it all.
So, all right. Well, before we jump into our roundtable, get your digital fingers, pens, pencils, whatnot ready. We do have a game we're giving away. This comes courtesy of Democulus. This is an older title, but it is a AAA title. This is for Xbox 360 only. So if you don't have a 360, then don't bother taking the code. Sorry to yell at my kids playing piano. They should be in bed. And she's playing piano instead. Anyway, so where was I? Get your codes if you want. If you have not yet played Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on your 360, then get ready to type in this code and download this to your 360. And here we go. Oh, I gotta cough one more time. Alright, before I give this out. Here we go. 6KYKB 2X2FY 6H2G8 CQ2B3 K8R6T. So there you go. And thank you to Democulus. We appreciate the community codes. And we do have another game that we're going to be giving away pretty soon for Xbox One. It'll be after our roundtable when we get into our community section, because that one also came from another community member. So we'll be sharing that with you guys coming up shortly. So let's move on to the roundtable. So, all right. I don't know if you guys were aware, if you were impacted by this at all this week. Actually, I think was it the past 2 weeks? Was it last weekend? And then sometime in the middle of the week.
Yeah, it's been a couple days.
A little group called Lizard Squad, who in the past has attacked Sony and taken down the PSN network. I should say they attacked PSN. But it's attack on Sony. It's their property.
Sony got attacked by somebody else with the whole movie thing.
With the what? No, Lizard Squad attacked Sony PSN a while back.
Yeah, I was talking about what happened with the whole movies being released and stuff. I think it's Korea or something.
Oh. Okay.
Never mind.
But anyways, now they have targeted Microsoft and Xbox Live. Recently, they have taken a hit at doing a distributed denial of service towards Xbox Live. Now, I do know when I first saw this happen, not everybody was affected. Xbox really didn't have much of an update on it. I should say Microsoft on their status page. But even today, they did say the 360 has core services are limited. That image you see on the screen is actually from today. So I'm not sure what's still going on the 360 side. If it's resolved at this moment, I don't know. But the thing that was interesting is when they did this a week ago, I think the service was impacted for maybe 2 hours. Within 2 hours, everything seemed to be resolved and good to go. And then Lizard Squad said, well, this is just a test. We're going to hit you on Christmas Day, and we're going to take you out for a very long time. As that was what they were saying. Well, then it seems like they couldn't wait till Christmas and did it again this Friday. I think it was Friday. They went after it again, and that's why it was interesting to see that the 360 status was still affected on their Xbox's status page today. But the date on that at that posting was yesterday, so it could be they just haven't updated the status page, but they're usually pretty good about keeping that updated. So, it's not that I want to give these guys any press, so to speak. The only reason I really wanted to bring this up and talk about it is I was curious if you guys or any of our listeners that might be in the Twitch page know this answer. I haven't researched it, and I don't really care to go look at these guys if they even have a website or not. I really don't care to log in or go to a site that is run by a bunch of hackers. So my question is, what's the point? I mean, I don't understand what these guys are trying to do. They've got a beef against Sony. They got a beef against Microsoft. So they're attacking the customers is essentially what they're doing. Yeah, it does impact Sony and Microsoft in a way, but I would think that, there's so much better ways to get your point across, and I just don't know what is their point? Because I think they've also gone after other companies that aren't video game related, but recently they're focusing on Sony and Microsoft, and I was just curious if you guys knew anything about them or what their point was to do this.
That's a very good question. I personally haven't really seeked out a whole lot of information on these guys. I've just heard stuff that I've seen on our Facebook page and, little bits and pieces here and there. And I don't understand it either. It's literally a form of terrorism of sorts because, it's like the guy that wants to strike back at the regime or whatever. So they blow up a marketplace. Okay, yeah, that really hurt the government by killing like all these people and their families. No, it didn't do anything. For something like this, I believe it's more like we can do it. We're, finding out a system to take, the big company down. Haha, that's really cool. Well, it's cool to you and your friends, and to everybody else, not so much. So, to me, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of time, and these people, they should focus their energies on something a lot more productive instead of inconveniencing a lot of normal people.
Let's see. We got Mark Fusion in the chat says they claim it's to show that Sony and Microsoft are wasting consumer money instead of using it to protect users' experience. Doesn't make. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me if that's what they're saying because, first of all, it's their money. I'm paying for an online service, and if you really want to go after somebody wasting money and not protecting your data, go after the credit card companies. Talking about people that aren't protecting any data. I mean, come on. And the thing that frustrates me is it's like, there's no matter what companies. I mean, I work for an internet security company, okay, and what is done, whatever whatever your security product of choice is, there's currently 4 of us in the top right quadrant of the Gartner Magic Quadrant. All 4 of those, there's still, it's like all those companies are trying to keep up. There's always a flaw to something. Every day there's something new. So it's like no matter what you're doing, you're always fighting that battle.
Oh yeah.
I talk to my customers all the time about this because some are just so far behind. But it's so to say that they're not doing it is, I think, kind of ridiculous. I think there's better ways to do it than, to go after and do, denial of service attacks on them because it takes down all these people. Obviously, I don't think they care about the user experience because they're impacting us. They don't care about us.
They're complaining about the user experience. So
while they're messing
hurting,
it up.
they're hurting. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, don't these people? I mean, do they not game themselves? Do you think these guys maybe use these services and are upset about something, or do you think they don't use them at all and don't care? It's just like in this world, everything's becoming online and connected, and it's just like, somebody can very easily. I don't know how easy it is to do it, but if they can take down a big service, that kind of. Makes me kind of wonder. It's like, well, do I really want to rent? The other day, I was having some issues. Jason and I couldn't get connected. We were having an issue, and we were, and then we were getting disconnected. And I don't know if it was related to this, because this was Friday night when it was happening. But we were playing and we were talking, but we were having issues with like lag and getting randomly disconnected and stuff. So we finally just gave up. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just watch a movie. There's a movie I want to watch on Xbox Video. And then I'm like, well, if they're having problems and they're being attacked, I don't really want to rent a movie and not get to watch it and not have it work right or have it, get dropped halfway through and then I've out my money. And so I was like, I went and watched TV or something, did something else. I don't know. It's just, it's a little frustrating. And what do you guys think? Do you think they're going to really have the capability to knock Microsoft off on Christmas Day like they claimed for a long time?
Well, I really don't fully understand how they're doing the denial of service. I know basic denial of service, how that functions. I really can't comment as to how Microsoft could combat that unless they try to block that to some degree, and maybe they can't. It could very well come to Christmas Day, and we'll be talking about it on the following show. We'll be talking about it a couple days later. I hope not. I hope they're able to do something about it, but we'll have to see.
You're gonna have a lot of new people on probably Christmas Day, and if the service is down, that's gonna stop people from even being able to use their brand new box. I mean, they'll be able to do anything till they get that update.
Yeah, it'll be like my Nintendo experience 2 years ago, where I couldn't connect to the store because they had too many people going in.
Yep. Bo, I think you were gonna say something.
Well, a couple things. One of the things is that definitely puts a new focus on the online-only games. You know, like was it Titanfall and Destiny? Those where it's you have to be online to play. But the definition here that they're saying is the DDoS. They're using netbots to ping a server until it crashes.
Right.
So I mean, I'm not as detailed or know as much as you guys do about that, but I don't know. It's just it's a pain.
Yeah, I think the big problem with this, if they're doing something like that, is just that if they have, let's say, 100,000 nodes that are doing this, yeah, it'll take the service down, but it's I would think it'd be difficult for them to block it because just of the sheer number. It's easy to block, let's say, something from one source, but when you have 100,000 of them, it's really just too much in terms of the human effort to do it. Like if you got to block them all individually.
Mm-hmm.
But why do these guys got to rain on our parade?
It's just I mean, it is frustrating because I hate to see new people. I've already said to myself, well, don't plan on gaming on Christmas Day. I mean, I don't think I would have. I mean, we're gonna have family over here. It's pretty much a family day, and it's all about the kids and stuff. I'm not gonna be on my box probably at all. But I think of all those people, like just me. If I was buying one for my kids, I thought about doing it, and get one for the kids, and if that was the case, they wouldn't even be able to play. And these are kids. And it's like you're going to take out on Christmas Day. You're disrupting kids, and it's like that's what you got to do to get your message across. I mean, it just seems to me there's so much better ways to do it. The Xbox Live feedback, they're listening to the feedback there. Post your complaints there or something, or contact Microsoft in a different way. Or in Sony for that matter. I mean,
Use the Reddit app.
So I don't know. It's just frustrating, and I know other companies and other groups have targeted different different companies and stuff like that, and I just don't understand it. I mean, it just seems such a wrong way to approach it. But
oh yeah, yeah. It's making a statement, showing what you can do. I think very little thought is given to who it actually affects. Because honestly, like okay, let's say Christmas Day, Xbox Live is down the entire time. The only people that it's going to affect basically is going to be regular people because Microsoft already has people's money. All right. They already have everybody's money for Xbox Live. And the only thing that might happen is they might not be able to get revenue from, let's say, any digital purchases for that day, right?
Yep.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that they would affect. But it's like people I remember when gas prices were going up, people were saying, like, we should stop buying gas on Friday. Show them.
It does nothing. Everybody went the night before to gas up.
Exactly. You remember those emails?
Yes.
Like, don't buy gas on Friday to show them. Let's band together. No, okay. You either got to buy it Thursday or you got to buy it Saturday. Either way, they got the money. And if they were smart, they'd raise the prices on Saturday.
The day before and the day after. I mean,
yeah,
it's ignorant. It's just so ignorant. And it reminds me of this crap going on right now with well, maybe I'm getting a little. I guess it's a little off topic, but this whole thing with the stuff going on in New York and in Ferguson, all these people running around, don't shoot. Hello, the guy didn't have his arms up. He wasn't giving up. He was trying to take the cop's gun. He was fighting the guy, and it's just like, these people are running around. We got politicians doing it. Don't shoot. It's like, you're completely wrong. You got your facts wrong. It makes no sense. What you're doing makes no sense. It's like just a bunch of idiots that, and it's like, Oh, the whole thing with the gas. Don't buy gas. We'll teach them. What does that do? You're completely. You're still gonna
Nothing.
buy the gas. You got to get to work. Buying it the day ahead of time or the day after is not gonna do anything. You're still buying it.
Yeah.
It's just it's just so frustrating. I think the future of this world it's in a state of affairs, man.
No, and like this whole thing of taking down Xbox Live again, it affects the wrong people. I know they're trying to send a message, and it's. Do you remember that? What the heck was it? Remember that Wall Street thing from a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, where there were all these people like sleeping in front of all of the government buildings. And,
Yeah.
Occupy Wall Street.
yeah, Occupy Wall Street. I had to walk by those guys every single day
Yeah.
when I was working down in downtown Chicago. And I was like looking at them like, what are you guys doing? What is
Yeah.
the point? I mean, actually, let me ask you guys, did that change anything?
Nope. Not a thing. And now it's a no one cares,
Yeah.
It's like these people get out, they got to scream the loudest, make their voice heard, and then I don't know what happens 6 months down the road. No one's, oh yeah, that's right. I can't even remember that. You couldn't even remember the name of what they were doing.
Exactly.
I saw those people. I was out on visiting customers out in Sacramento, and I walked past this park. It was just, the park was full, dude. It was all these people camped out, and I'm just like, why? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, It's
Yeah.
like it's same with like the whole Black Friday thing. People camp out for a week to get a TV at 25% off, maybe 50% off. Really? You're gonna spend your whole holiday in a week sleeping out in a tent on the concrete to save a few bucks?
Right.
If you can't afford it, you shouldn't have it.
Yeah.
you know.
And I got one more little anecdote here. This was probably about 2 years ago in downtown Chicago. The Chicago Public Schools teachers were picketing. They were on strike and they were picketing in downtown Chicago. And I got to say, I was sympathetic to them. I'm like, that sucks that, they can't get a raise or whatever. And then there was one day that they organized the biggest march of all. I missed 3 trains because of them.
Yep.
I missed an evening with my family because of them. And after that, I was not sympathetic to them.
No.
So people are on their side until you hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a mile and a half. I was on the bus that wasn't moving, and I missed 3 trains just because traffic was gridlocked because of these guys. I know they're trying to prove a point. They're trying to get their message out there, but you know what? Sympathy gone out the window because you were jerky to me. That's these guys here. They're jerky to all of us.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't sympathize with them. I hate them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the feeling that most people are going to have.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, if you remember, I think you probably have seen her going in and out of Union Station there. There's this lady that sits there. She's always sitting, begging for money, but she's always sitting on the ground. And she's always either smoking or talking on her cell phone. And she's like, spare some change. She's got a really nasty,
yeah.
you know
I
who
know
I'm talking
know.
about. I know
I
you
what
do.
you're talking about.
And it's like, I'm not got spare change for you, and every time I see you, you're smoking and talking on a freaking cell phone. And, it's a smartphone at that. I'm like, you're not homeless. I know you're not. Homeless people don't buy smartphones. They don't have cell phones. They're worried about their next meal, about clothes, So, yeah, that's the same thing. It's just,
And I know we're like getting way
we
off
need to
topic on this, and I just want to give one last thing. So one of my buddies at work, he was getting out of the parking garage over by our office, and as he got up the stairs to ground level, because it's actually underground, as he got up to ground level, he saw this guy who had like all these ratty clothes, and he had like really nice shoes on, and he was taking them off, and he was like putting up these like beat up holy shoes.
Yeah.
And later on, he saw the guy as he walked over there around lunchtime. He saw the guy like begging for money.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? It's like these people are scammers.
Oh yeah, yeah, they all are.
They're not legit.
You remember over there where we used to live, just between Berwyn and Stickney, there was that the was it Harlem Avenue goes over, what is that, the Stevenson, and there was always that couple begging for money for years. They were there. This guy and girl. Well, one of the TV stations finally did like investigative reporting on them and found out they owned a home in Stickney. They owned a house and were clearing 80 grand a year tax free. So the city kicked them off that area. They just went to the next one down, over to Forest Park, and then they just went one exit down, and that's where they were. And they just kept doing it, and people keep paying them. And I'm just like, people got to stop. But anyways, we are way off track here.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's like nobody in the chat's saying get back onto games. They're just letting us ramble. So I blame the community.
They're all
and Bo
like, riled up with us, and they're like shouting at the screens.
They're all like, "Preach it, brother!"
That's right.
Here's a question for you. The my Xbox Live is set to renew on 12/22.
Oh.
What do you do? Do you renew it, or do you let it lapse until you see what happens on Christmas and then?
I'll renew it. I'd renew it. I'm searching around for a good price on Xbox Live. My renewal's not till February, but I'll renew. I mean, if it goes down, it's not going to be forever, So, but we could see some. I mean, if these guys are serious and they really want to do it, the interesting thing was how quickly Microsoft responded and really didn't say anything. So, some of the things I've heard about this recent thing is they don't really know if it was really an attack. It might have just been the service went down, so some group took credit for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, why would a group take credit for something like, why do they want the attention?
They do that all the time.
Well, I mean, when you've got groups going out to the administration saying you need to deal with these people and, get some legal action on them, I would think that they wouldn't want to have their name on something they didn't necessarily do. I don't know, maybe. I guess it depends on the group. But anyways, we need to move on. we got another topic actually that Rob threw on, and so why don't you introduce that, and then we'll move into the community.
Sure, righto. I think we mentioned this briefly. It was quite a while ago, where there were rumors of an Xbox 360. Actually, let me rephrase that. So there was OnLive. OnLive was a PC service that let you play games in a browser just about from any device or whatever. And I really don't know what happened with that. It kind of just went away. I don't know if they totally folded or whatnot. I don't remember now. But there's been some talk of Microsoft picking up a service like that. And, we've been hearing bits and pieces, of Azure running it and whatnot, but where the service could possibly be on the Xbox One and allow you to play 360 games in the cloud. So this is kind of an interesting little setup here. You don't really need a 360 anymore because you could just play it virtually on your console and maybe or on your Xbox One and maybe on other devices. And I'm just curious about like your guys' thoughts on what you think about this kind of service. Would it be something that you're interested in? Would it replace your 360? Would you pay extra for something like this? What do you guys think? Any thoughts?
I could care less. It's 360. I'm on Xbox One, man. I don't even.
Right.
The only nice thing about it would be if somebody wanted to play a 360 game, I could, if I can run this service on my Xbox One, then I could still play using my Xbox One controller, my Xbox One headset. Not have to, I could remove the 360 out of the equation, and except for the game. But I still would think that it wouldn't work because you'd still, unless you digitally owned a game, then you'd have to rebuy it through their service, and I would never do that.
That's a very good question. Like, what happens with physical copies? Can you maybe just throw a physical copy of a game into your Xbox One, it reads it and it says, "Hey, okay, you own this," and you can play it. They could do something like that to prove that you actually own the game, and of course, you have all the digital versions. But this could possibly be why they've never done any backwards compatibility on the Xbox One. I mean, it's totally out the window. Unlike the 360, which did have backwards compatibility with a regular Xbox, the original. And
But I mean,
go
but
ahead.
why? I don't. I mean, I know people talk about that on the PlayStation. Oh, I can go back and play PS1 games. Whoopie do. I mean, maybe it's just me. Are that many people really going back? Because when I've played old games, I'm like, oh man, this sucks.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like I remember, oh, how great this game was, and I know I loved XCOM, dude. See, if I booted up XCOM on my PC today, I would probably hate it. It's like
yeah,
no,
yeah,
just I don't care about that. I'd rather them put money into something else. That because that's money that they're gonna have to put into something that I don't know if a lot of people would really take advantage of. And that's one of the things. I mean, they said they did all that money they did on the 360 when it came out to give backward compatibility for a bunch of Xbox One game or original Xbox games,
yep,
and they said like, I mean, hardly anyone used it. It was really a waste.
yeah. A
You
waste
know,
of all their effort and programming time, and
I've got a Xbox One. I got a 360. So if I want to play a 360 game, how hard is it to put the 360 turn it on? It's not hard at
exactly.
all. I mean, I know some people said why I got rid of that one to move forward. Well, then you moved forward, and you obviously if you got rid of your 360, you weren't planning on playing them anyways. So needing backward compatibility is kind of stupid in my opinion. You're buying. It's like
Yeah,
if I buy a new car, you don't hold back anything from your old one, right? I mean, like,
yeah.
oh, I got to take the seats over because they're super comfortable. Here, put these seats from my Toyota into my new Ford. I'm like, it's asinine. I mean, it's like the same thing. It's just, I don't know. Oh, Bo's taking off. He's had it. Look, we chased him away. He gone. He's like, I'm out of here.
He's like,
Time out. I'm out.
he's like, see ya. Their
No,
systems
I'll
were
be right back.
backwards.
Okay.
Okay. There are other systems where backwards compatibility is pretty popular, like the 3DS. The 3DS has a cartridge slot for uh, the 3DS games and DS games, so you can use both. And on that system, I'm sure a lot of people, can dip into the DS library and play it on the 3DS. However, on consoles like the Xbox One, which is more of a gamer's system, right?
hmm
Like the mobile 3DS style systems are typically geared towards kids, and the gamers will have a P or an Xbox One. And I think the gamers are less apt to really dip back into history and go for a title that's a couple years old.
Right.
I tend to believe that a lot of the gamers are really more towards like the new hotness.
Exactly.
You
I
know?
mean, that's what we've always wanted. I mean, that's what everybody was screaming for. It's like, give me new graphics, give me new stuff. I want new, new, new. If everybody wanted old stuff, they would still be playing back on their Nintendos, entertainment systems, or their 2600s, right? But they're not because there was something new and better that came out. So, if you want to play it, keep the system around. If you don't, then move on. I mean, and I'm surprised actually how quickly that I expected to keep playing my 360,
Yeah, yeah.
and I've only bought one game for it since my Xbox One, and I can't stand the game. I think it sucks, and I just don't play anything on it.
Is
It's
you,
I
you remember how we were talking when the Xbox One came out about how they were going to continue support for the Xbox 360 for 2 additional years at least? Remember that?
uh-huh.
Remember that
Yeah.
story? And we were all like, "Oh yeah, that's great to have. You can have both systems and so forth. 360 is not going away." But for those people that have gone with the Xbox One, I really don't think a lot of people have really looked back.
Bo,
You
how
know,
about you? I think you got rid of your 360, didn't you, to go with Xbox One?
I did, yes.
Do you regret that?
For about the first 4 months, I did because there weren't a lot of games that were out.
Oh
But
yeah.
there's so many games out now that I can't play everything I want to play on the X1, much less go back and play anything on the 360 at this point. So I don't miss it, no.
Yeah. And would you go back and at this point would you go back and play some 360 games on your Xbox One if you could if it had backwards compatibility?
No, no. About the only game that I'd go back and play that I miss is, and I've made no secret in the chats, is the Red Dead Redemption, but that's coming out next year. They're remastering in the springtime the original game, and then allegedly in the fall winter of next year is supposed to be the next version.
Oh wow.
So I don't have any reason to go back to the 360 at this point.
And I really think a lot of the stuff that you think back on fondly is best left to nostalgia,
Yeah.
because there were, let's say, a game that came out 5 years ago on the 360. It, as cool as it might have been back then, it can pale by comparison to stuff that comes out now. And we've seen so many things, like back when the 360 first came out. What was it, like Project Gotham? No.
Project Gotham Racing?
Yeah, 2, right? Was that the one that came out on the 360? Or was it the original one?
I
think
don't know.
Was PGR original Xbox?
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. Okay, so it was one of those. I remember it being like a launch title. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2. But you look at that game, as cool as it was back then, compared to like Forza Horizon 2, it kind of sucks. Sorry. In terms of visuals, yeah.
Sorry. Project Gotham Racing released on Xbox. 1 and 2 were on the original Xbox. PGR 3 and
Okay.
4 were on the 360.
Okay, so I think 3 then might have had the launch release.
The November 22nd of 2005. That sounds right.
For 3?
PGR 3 came out November 22nd, 2005.
Okay. All right. So you look at those games and they really pale in comparison. And if you go back and you play them, you're like, "Eee, what was I thinking?" Did you guys see those game systems that they have in like the Toys R Us's and probably the Bed Baths and Beyonds? They're the Ataris and televisions, all those. It's like these little systems with the
Yes.
2 controllers, and you get like 100 games.
Yes.
And you're like, wow, I remember these games. These were so awesome. Well, I've got some experience with that because my father-in-law bought the Atari one. And me and my brother-in-law on Thanksgiving went over there. Did I mention this last show? I don't think I did.
No.
No. So we went over there and we basically went through the list and we're like, okay, let's play Combat. This sucks. Okay, let's play Jungle Hunt. This really sucks. I mean, all of them. This sucks. This sucks. What do we do? Well, this sucks. This all. And like literally, like me being a huge gamer, and he's sort of an okay gamer as well. He's on the PlayStation side, but both of us were like, yeah, we're gonna go sit with the kids. I mean, this thing was like left, and my son even took it, and he was trying to play like the miniature golf, and he's like, "What do I do?" I mean, he's 6 and he can't understand like this game, and I was looking, I'm like, I don't know, and I really don't even care. So, I mean, that's an extreme example because the Atari games are so old, but I really think that a lot of people, if this actually does come out, they'll go to these games and they'll probably be disappointed in it because what I found is everything that was cool in the past kind of sucks because the gameplay is not like it is today.
not. I mean, if I've played everything on the 360 that I wanted to play. There's nothing out
Right.
there that I have that I'm like, ooh, I wish it would be backwards compatible so I could buy this 360 game and play it on my Xbox One.
What about Rock Band?
And I'm not going to buy everything. If the next Rock Band comes out, it's going to be on next gen. So, lots of
That
static.
points.
Lots of static from somebody there.
I think maybe Bo's cat is rubbing up against the microphone.
Nope, they're on the other side of the room.
All right. Oh, Bo, you've been awful quiet this whole evening. You got any comments you want to share? Or...
Well, I was just thinking of, the same thing can be said with any media, really. Go back and think of, 15, 20 years ago, your favorite TV show or movie or anything, and then watch it today and see if it was as, enjoyable and mind-blowing as it was back then. And it's not. I think of some shows that I used to love back in the, late 70s, early 80s, and watch them now.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, how could I even sit through this?
Yeah, watch Airwolf today. Watch it.
Yeah. Well,
Like, oh my God. Even Battlestar Galactica, as cool as it was when I was little, this is freaking horrible.
You know what? I think the only show that has held up is the original Star Wars movie. But even then, at this point now, 30 years later, it's starting to be like, okay, that's kind of hokey. But it's held up a lot better. I think that movie was so far ahead of its time that you can look at that one and actually it's still very enjoyable. If you watch the originals, not the remake HD twice, 200 times because it wants to screw everything up. You look at the original, it's still I watch that and still enjoy it. But like every other movie from the 70s, it's just like, what? What is that? That's a box they're sitting in. That's not a car. That's a cardboard box they're in. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just you're right on, and it's just that stuff you want to move on and go to the next thing. So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely leave them to nostalgia. Remember how fond you were of the games and leave it at that. So I think we can safely say that we probably won't take much advantage of this service and probably definitely not take advantage of it if it costs.
yeah, I mean, I don't even think I'd take advantage of it if it was free and the games are free. I don't know. It's like even today, as much as I loved Gra 2 co-op, if we had a group of people say, "Hey, let's get on 360 for Friday Night Life and do some Gra co-op," I don't know if I'd want to do it. I
Yeah.
think I'd go back to it and go, "Wow, this doesn't look that good." And we loved that game. Oh my gosh, we loved that game.
Oh yeah.
And it's like that game has a very special place for me for several different reasons. But it's like I don't want to go back to it because I'm afraid I would look at it and go, "Ew," or "These controls are horrible," or it just doesn't look good. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see the need to do this.
And there's a
Keep
game
everything
that
back.
I played not too long ago, and that's Crazy Taxi. And I loved
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi is fantastic. It's an awesome, awesome game. I played it on the 360. I got through like the first race, and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah,
It's even though I would play it for hours on end, like years ago, the game's dated. It's
my only thought is where it could be a positive. The only way I would say that Microsoft could do it to be a positive thing would be they got to look at it and say, you know what, we're going to make no money on this. We're going to make our entire original Xbox and Xbox 360 library absolutely free to play to anybody that has Xbox Live Gold. Okay, that's going to and it's free. So now you've taken a step over PSN where you have to pay for this additional, backward compatibility to, and correct me if I'm wrong on the Twitch. I do believe you have to pay for that. But and I'm sure Hawk will help me out here. I know he's got a PlayStation. Several of our people in here have have PlayStations that are watching us tonight. So let me know if I'm wrong, but I believe that for that service on Sony, you got to pay for it. If Microsoft came out and said we're going to make everything backward compatible, it's all in the cloud, our entire library of games are just free. Because I mean, are they really selling them at this point? I mean, they are selling 360s, but I think a lot of people are using them for Netflix boxes or second, third, fourth consoles in their home for their kids, and they're using the discs they already have. You know, so if you did that, then I could see people going, "Hey, that's cool. I can get an Xbox One, get Xbox Live Gold, every Xbox original Xbox and 360 game automatically available to me on day one if I want for free." You know, that for anybody new coming in, that yeah, it's going to be old stuff, but it's free. You know, and then it kind of gives you Xbox Live kind of gets its prestige back a little bit. I think, you know, because PSN kind of caught up, and I think some people are saying now that they've kind of overtaken Xbox Live. I don't know. I'm not on PSN. But to get Xbox Live back up, if that's truly the case, get that bar raised back up, I think that might help them in the PR factor, but if you're going to make people pay for it, I think it's going to be a flop. So,
Yeah.
But anyways, that's it. I'm done. I'm not.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, and I guess one thing you can do to kind of gauge what might happen with this is just what happened with Microsoft Arcade. Right?
Yeah, that's true. The thing there, it's like, now I kind of liked what they did with that. I did actually buy some of the games, but it was only a couple, and I never really put any time into them. It was more of, let's just play, and I would play it probably once. I'd buy like the Lunar Lander I bought. Well, I played it maybe one time, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just because, why am I going to play something that came out that long ago when I got, you know, Watch Dogs or Destiny or, you know, Diablo 3? You know, I'm like, there's time to move on, you know, get away from
yeah.
It's neat for nostalgia, but it's not anything you're going to go back and play. If I had the ability to play Hunter the Reckoning on my Xbox One, I would definitely, that'd be the only original Xbox game I can think of that I would probably put it on play, but I can probably guarantee that probably within 30 minutes I'd probably be done with it and go, yeah, this was not very good.
Yeah.
You know? And I loved that game back on the Xbox. So.
Oh, yeah.
But all right.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's move into our community section. We do have a Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups/this Xbox Life. That is where all our community chit chat and stuff goes on. Meet up new people, look for people that are cool to play with and game with on Xbox Live. You want to add people to your friends list. We have a something I don't say often, but on that group at the top, there's like a file section. We do have a document there. You can add your real name and gamer tag. Since everything's in real names on Facebook, it's hard to know sometimes who you're talking to. But if you're looking for gamers, you can add yourself to that list. If you're looking for people to add to your friends list, take a look at it. You can see people that are on there have put themselves on that list saying you can add me to your friends list. If you do that, just let people know when you might want to send them a message, say, hey, I'm part of the TXL community. But you can set up game times. A lot of people go out there saying, hey, I'm looking to do a raid in Destiny this day and time. And, you can comment if you want to join up and do stuff like that. So it's a great place to meet some outstanding gamers. You can email us if you have any questions or issues, contact@thisxboxlife.com. And before I go any further, we did have a question. I hope he's still in the chat. I wanted to make sure we touched it. Rob, you would probably have the answer. How do you access the free Assassin's Creed Unity DLC?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh.
They said they were going to make it available.
He is still
beyond that.
So it's not available yet?
I don't know. I haven't played it in probably about 2 weeks.
Okay, I think you need to research it because the question came in as a follow-up this week. So I give that tasking to you. It is you. So and JD's still in the Twitch chat. So if we can get that to him tonight, that'd be awesome.
Sure.
Um, we're on Twitter. We do, so if you want to follow us on Twitter, we do post stuff out there, twitter.com/this Xbox Life. And of course, we have a voicemail. If you go to our website, click on the voicemail. It's a tab on the far right side of the page. You click on that, as long as you have a microphone hooked up to your computer, it'll ask, can you please give us access to your microphone? Say yes, and it'll give you a simple play, record, and send button. I think it's like 3 options. So record your message to us. Give us your gamer tag if you would, with your question or comment. We will play that on this show, as you guys heard one last week. We did get an email this week, and this came from Ty. That's his first name. So he said, "Hey." He said, "Mark, Ty here again with another donation. I played Limbo on the Xbox 360 and thought it was a good little game. Microsoft sent me a free code for the game on the One, and I'd rather somebody in TXL community experience this game for the first time rather than me play it again. So he gave us the code, and I'm going to give it out here now. So this is an Xbox One code for the game Limbo. So if you did not get this free and you have not played it, here's your chance to get it. If you've already played it, we would ask again, just like Ty did. If you've already played it on the 360, let's leave this for someone who has not yet played it. All right, here we go. The code is 64RJJ, YKQD3, PHR27, PQ-P36MXHTZ. All right. So, and he also says, "Have a good holiday," and same to you, Ty. Thank you for that. We appreciate, we really appreciate our community. You guys rock, and we appreciate you guys sharing stuff with everybody. So, that takes us into the new releases, and we actually have some at this late in the game. So, Rob, what's coming out?
That's a good question, my friend. Well, here's the answer. For 360, we have Juju, and Xbox One, we have Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris.
And I think that's it for if I do believe, I think that's all there is for the rest of the year.
Oh, wow.
Let me just double check my list. The next game on 360 that I see is Saints Row: Get Out of Hell on January 20th. And then for Xbox One, it is Saints Row, Re-Elected, which is the Saints Row 4 remastered for Xbox One, plus the Get Out of Hell DLC that's coming out on January 20th as well. So this is it. Last week of new games for the year, people. Uh-oh. Rob went bye. I guess he was so sad he left.
Wow.
He's like, "I'm out of here." So, and I notice the screen's a little weird. Let's see if I can get him back. I'll try getting him back. But that's all there is. So, if you do listen to us on iTunes, please rate us 5 stars. Please rate us on any of your podcasting apps. Be sure to subscribe to us on Twitch so you can watch us live. And I think he's back. I hear the static. Really loud static at that, too. I might have to mute him. There he is!
Hey.
Ooh, you're really loud. I think... there it's going back down. We're done anyway, so... you came back on just to sign off. Did you guys, either you, Bo or Rob, have any further comments?
Yeah, I just want to mention that the Assassin's Creed thing real quick. The Dead Kings DLC is going to be for free, and there is not an announced release date yet, other than just coming soon. And on the Xbox One, what they're going to do is once it's available, the DLC is going to be listed as an add-on in the Xbox One Marketplace, and there's also going to be a link in the in-game menu. So that is your options. I don't see anything about the 360, how it's going to function, but I imagine it'd be similar.
Okay.
And I don't have anything else to say.
Well, the only thing I was going to add was if you see me online in the evenings and you want to do some co-op and Far Cry or something else, feel free to send a message.
And I do see a question from Hawk about our Amazon. He said, if I already have stuff in my cart, then went to our link and used the Amazon link there, does it still count? I would say no. I don't think it will, does it?
Yeah, it gets attached only when the item's placed in the cart. So
Right.
once it's in the cart, it is. So just a quick primer on how this works. If the cookie is loaded on your system, it's good for 24 hours. After that, it drops off, and it'll stay there either until it times out or until it gets replaced. If it times out, it'll basically anything that we would have got just goes straight to Amazon. So they just get a little bit more money as opposed to the show. So one thing to do is whenever you go to Amazon, just use our link each and every time.
Or you just bookmark it.
Bookmark it. Yeah.
Yeah. Make it your homepage. Make it your favorite. Make it bookmark that sucker.
Yeah.
Send it to your friends. Put it at the bottom of your Christmas card when you send it out.
That's right.
Say, use this link.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. So, and that's how we're giving back. So I think we might have one more giveaway here before the end of the year. Hopefully next week. I'll have to double check. But we're doing that simply because of you guys. That's all. We're just giving everything back to you. So we appreciate that.
Oh, and Hawk corrected me that Unity didn't come out for the 360. They got that other.
Oh,
that other
Rogue, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
So, all right. All right. Well, with that, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to check out those codes. Even if you're listening to the audio, you might want to try those codes in case no one took them in the Twitch feed tonight. With that, I am Mark, aka Wingman 709, taking off.
I'm Rob, also known as Prestar. Tthanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch y'all next week.
And I'm Bo, Binge for Loki. See you online.